right? For some of those who have served our country, the call to duty still beckons after their military service is over.
And that is certainly the case for 102 members of Congress who are military veterans. They're the subject of a brand new series we're launching today right here on Fox & Friends.
Up first, Florida Congressman Brian Mast, Fox & Friends weekend co-host Abby Huntsman with more.
Yeah, what a memorable day it was for me. You've got to hear his story. So Congressman Mast, he's a freshman in the 115th Congress after winning 53% of the vote in his home district. But many people don't know this. He started his career in the U.S. Army as a bomb technician in Afghanistan, where he lost both of his legs and still made the decision to continue serving his country in Congress. Take a look at this.
I lost 2 legs and a finger disposing bombs, trying to work for my country and my brothers in service. And that was completely palatable. I have 0 regrets about it.
In that moment, for people that don't know, take us back.
We came to a spot on the battlefield that there was the only place that pretty much we could get across the river. And I told my guys, if I can figure that out, any enemy can figure that out. They probably mined the area. They probably put some bombs around there. So one of these snipers that I was working with, he fell in this waterway. I went to step back and help pull our guy out of the water. And when I did that, wherever it is that I turned and I moved to, I found one of those devices exploded underneath my feet. I remember very vividly it tumbling me through the air, probably landed 5 or 10 feet from where I'd been. I can remember, being engulfed in this cloud of dust, and I can remember, hearing in my radio device my men talking about me and, calling up my call sign, EOD is hit, EOD is down. They were talking about me. They loaded me onto a helicopter, and they gave me a salute, the men that were carrying my stretcher. And they said, you're going to be okay.
From that moment, take us to the moment waking up here in D.C.
There was somebody that I had gone to school with. His name was Josh. I didn't know he was in the military. He found me and recognized me as Brian Mast. He reached back home and got in contact with my wife, Brianna. Had her email a picture of her and what was our 6-month-old son at the time. And he taped it to that flat part at the end of the hospital gurney where my feet were supposed to be sticking up. And they weren't. And he did it so that the first thing that I would ever see would be my wife and my son looking back at me.
What's going through your mind in that moment? Because you look down and you realize you don't have legs.
It was tough. One of the things that was going through my mind was that I'd lost my purpose in life. And it's when my father came to my bedside and he looks at me and he says, Brian, you can't let this keep you down. You got to find a way to pull yourself up, to get out there and get back to work. And that was what drove me on the other side of it, saying, it doesn't matter if I've lost that purpose of my life. I can still go out there. I can still get back to work. I can still regain that purpose, and maybe it'll be on another battlefield. And that's where I am today. Thanks for coming today. See how the sausage is made in our office.
Yeah, get a sense of a day in your life. Let's get started.
All right, let's do it. I'm headed to committee. I wanted to be on the Committee of Transportation and Infrastructure, work for the water issues that are going on in my local community. It's not the federal government cleaning something up. The federal government is doing the damage. And we're working on a bill that essentially says the federal government shall do no harm.
You even talk to 7th graders as part of your day.
I do.
Skyping.
Now, Skyping with classes is kind of a regular part of my week. It's usually one of the more fun things for me to try to speak to them, answer their questions, get them involved in the process of things that are going on here. I encourage everybody to go out there and read the Constitution.
All right, so you have Maverick here with you today, your 5-year-old son.
I do.
He is having a ball.
He is. He has a good time with Daddy, and I have a good time. Children, family, it's the most difficult part about this process. So one of the things that we do is I try to bring the kids up here from time to time when I can.
You want to go on the trolley?
Give me your hand. Let's go. You go into Statuary Hall or some of the other places. You think of the history. How you doing, sir? You doing all right? Hey, good to see you.
Good. How are you?
Surviving? Yeah. Back in the fight?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I mean, you don't get 2 minutes of downtime.
No, there's never any downtime. It's from one to another to another.
Today, you're about to walk on the House floor.
To take real action to put an end to bigotry and violence. Not every single moment of the day-to-day minutia is fun. A lot of it is very arduous. But when you accomplish something great, when you go out there and do something great for, the people back home, for the country, for freedom, for standing up for the Constitution, for fiscal responsibility, yeah, you've accomplished something good, and it makes every sacrifice worth it.
What a guy.
What an inspiration he is. You really get the sense when you spend the day with him that he cares, whether it's serving the military or now in Congress. He wants to make a difference, and that was really nice to see. We don't see that very often.
I love the fact that he is Skyping with kids in his congressional district.
And it was so cute. The kids all dressed up in suits and ties for the Skyping.
How cute is that?
Yeah, well, he had his son Maverick there, as you saw. He's got his hands full. But what an amazing family they are, and just kudos to him.
His son was walking down the hall with his cell phone in his mouth.
You should have seen him the whole day, though. That was just a little glimpse.
Oh. And after he served our country, he came back. He talked about his wife and his son being in the picture at the foot of his hospital bed. He had 2 more children.
2 more children after that. And I asked him, I said, what do you tell your kids about what you've been through? He said, they know nothing else. They've only seen me this way. And so he said, I'm trying to instill in them the service, as he talked about, my dad instilled in me.
What a beautiful story. Thanks for bringing it to us.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks to him.